Hello, everybody. Our topic for today is about business and finance management activities. Okay, so let's proceed. Now, these are the objectives that we are going to have. You will learn how to restrict data using text length, one of the data validation in the Excel. You will also know how to convert text to column, and then of course very familiar the hyperlinks, and we are also going to explore on the basic and common functions in Excel. Right, so let's start with text length. Now, by theory or definition, when you say text length, it limits the length or the number of characters of data entered in a cell. It includes the alphanumeric, meaning to say it includes the numbers, the characters, and all. Okay, so let's have a quick demonstration. For example, we will have a PIN number in an ATM, wherein a bank requires you to have a 6-digit PIN, for example. Okay, so we're going to go to the data. Let's have this one, PIN or password. Okay, for a bank. Now, for example, we are going to go to the under data tab, and then which you can find there, data validation. It's also a review, and then there you have it. The data validation is there, and then you're going to look for this one in allow. You have it there, whole number, decimal. This time you're going to choose for text length. Okay, now for example, you could have between, not equal, equal to, but this time the bank requires us to have a 6-digit PIN. So we are going to type in the number 6, right? So we will hit OK. And if everything, for example, in the input message, when you have the cell, what do you like to display with? So you're going to PIN number. Okay, so for example, and then input the PIN number, something like that. Okay, so and then what if it's not correct? What if the user inputs not 6-digit one, for example? Let's say error. You may say error, and then you may say invalid PIN number. You can say that for the purpose of demonstration. Then let's have it like that. Okay, if everything is set, then you are going to click OK. Now, for example, here we are going to drop it down. Now, it is 6, right? So let's say, let's have the default one. Okay. Okay, that's correct. How about if it's just 5? You forgot. Okay, it's invalid PIN number. Okay, or you may say invalid PIN number, input 6-digit PIN. You can say that. Or that would be for text length. Right? Our next topic is about converting text to columns. Okay, by theory, these are, you're going to put contents of an Excel to separate columns. Now, for example, right, now let's have a quick demonstration on text to column. Now, for example, let's have the full name here. Okay, in the usual, the concept is in one cell, you can separate it into different columns. Okay, and how do you do that? Okay, for example, let's populate any name here. Let's say John A. Perez. Or John. Okay, another, let's have, what else? Peter B. John. Okay, for assuming those are their names. Now, how do you do that? Now, here, we'll just click on this one, and then under the data tab, you can see there text to column. Okay, what it does for text to column is that you can choose between delimited or fixed width. You can choose delimited class. Okay, what it does for delimited, it will tell you on what are the characters that separate from the words. You could have semicolon, comma, space. Okay, in this example, it is separated between, right, between space, and then, okay, that would be it. And then you're just going to go through here, just next. If you have noticed, you will see the preview, what happened to the text. Okay, and then finish. Okay, so there you have it. From one cell, it is separated into different columns. Okay, you can have it here, first name, and then middle initial, and then you could have it last name. Right, so that would be text column.
Okay, let's have the hyperlink. Okay, so it is a clickable text. It could be a text, it could be an image. Okay, it could be a picture that you want to link. You can link it to the same worksheet or the same You can also link to other workbook, and you can also link to online itself. Right now, another is that okay. All right. So let's have a quick demonstration of hyperlink. All right. So for example, we will have your click here. All right. Okay. So right. So for example, you're going to say click here for the next workbook, or you can create a workbook. Okay, how do you do that? The shortcut of hyperlink is you may go to, if it's not shortcut, you may go to insert, and then you can see there hyperlink, this icon here. Okay, what it does for hyperlink, you'll be given the hyperlink dialog box. You can have it in current folder, browse page. You can also place in this document. You can also create a new document. So in this example, we are going to create a new document. By the way, the shortcut key of hyperlink is Control plus K. Now let's try to do that. Our file name for our new document will say, this is my new document, a new spreadsheet if you want to. This is my new spreadsheet. Okay, so let's have like that now. Okay, so if you've noticed, when you create that, we already have there. Now try to click. Okay, so by default the color is blue. Now let's try to click this. What it does, okay, it will tell us, okay, do you trust this site, or do you trust the source? Yes, I trusted the source. Okay, so that is it. Again, the hyperlink, it will jump to another file, but okay, you can use not just text, but you can also include pictures and whatever. It depends upon on the design you wanted to have the link on. Okay, you've noticed if it's already clicked the same with HTML, the color becomes now purple. Another theories or concept that we need to take into considerations are these four. Okay, you can have the margins. Of course, we know what our margins are. Header, of course, when you say header, it is located on the top of the page, and then the opposite of it is the footer. And then the page orientation. Remember that the page orientation is classified into two. Remember, if it's vertical, that is portrait. If it's horizontal, that is landscape. Okay, now we will check on that is not common to us. This one, header and footer. Now in Excel, okay, now we have codes. Now for example, if you have this one, if you want to have the footer, let's say the current date, let's have the current date or time. Now we call it in the programming or the computing term or the computer term, we call it ampersand. Okay, now let's take a look, for example, this one, the current date. We wanted to reflect in our header footer the current date or the current time. Right? So we will check on it now. Okay, just a quick demonstration then. Okay, so we will back to this example before. Okay, now let's try to insert header or footer. Okay, whichever you like. Now how do you do that? You can insert header or footer here in the text tab. Okay, under insert tab, you can find it there, header and footer. Alright, so let's check now. I want to reflect, let's say, the date for today. Okay, so you could have it, so ampersand, and then how do you do that? Okay, and then date. It's a square bracket, and then date. Now it says there, it's October 10, 2020. Now question, how about if it will be tomorrow? Do you think that these dates will change? Some would say no. Some would, you may say it depends. Yes, it will change because we just inputted there the code and not the date itself. We just write it there, whatever the date for when you open the file, then it will be changed into that date. We can also click it here, current time. You can have the code or you can have the icons here. But I want you to remember that codes are also important. Okay, so let's say, okay, we have page 1, right? So those are the codes for header. Now, Mom, what if I wanted to have it in footer? Then you can have it here, the same codes, right? So again, when you say footer, it's located below. Okay, and then if you say header, of course, it's located at the top, right? So that would be for header. Now, by the way, for page layout here, okay, you can, of course, set the print area. For the orientation, you have the portrait or landscape. For the margins, it depends. You can customize the margins. Okay, so we just have to explore in it. Okay, so that would be it for that context. So moving on, we need to use this customizing Windows layout. This is very important class. Okay, terms are pane sections of the worksheet. Freeze pane, you are going to lock the tab, or it depends on which section you wanted to lock on. Okay, you can have arrange all, or if you happen to open a lot of worksheets, and you can organize it. For example, class, we have a lot of movie title here, and then these table. Let's extend it as like that. Okay, so never mind the data. Just what I am after is the content. Now, freeze pane. What does freeze pane do? If you have noticed, when I'm going to click this one, I will not know what is the header or what is the heading. This one here. So I need to make use of freeze pane. What it does is that I am going to check or to choose which section I wanted to lock. Now, for example, I want this section here to be locked. Now, we will check what happened. Okay, when I click the freeze pane there, what you've noticed is that I can scroll down now and I will know what is the header there. So for example here, alright, so the title, the category, what category of movie is it, and then the income. Alright, so again, never mind the data, this is a purpose for demonstration. Okay, now in the event you've opened a lot of worksheets, let's check if we have opened a lot of worksheets here. You can click on this one here. You can click on tiled, horizontal, vertical, cascade. Now let's check on horizontal. Right, so we have this worksheet. Right, so what happened if it's vertical? And then how about, yes, so this is the worksheet we had created last time, or just a while ago. Okay, so you can arrange, you can organize the worksheets that you have opened. So moving on, this is one of the most important topics in Excel, that we need to have the functions in Excel. Now, this one, in our discussion, it is categorized into 3 types of functions. You can have the math function, which carries basic math operations. We also have count. We will know how to count or total the number of cells. We also have here statistical, which means you can analyze data in different ways. Now, let's move on with math functions. In our example here, we are going to include sum and sum if. Now, what is the difference between the two class? When you say sum, you can just add all the cells or the range of the cells. In sum if, there is a specific criteria that you want to meet or to establish. The sum, for example, with the Shopee 1010 sale. Okay, now let's have, alright, so you are going to target here. Alright, so let's have the items, or let's say items, and then alright, quantity, and then unit price, something like that. Or let's say unit price, and then the total, for example. Okay, now how about here, we'll just name any items, XX, YY, XX, YY, ZZ. Now let's have another here. Let's say 12, 10. We have 45. The price, say 999. Let's have 173. What else? Okay, let's say 1000. Okay, you can change the formatting here under the top. We have it there. Now let's have the total class. How do you do that? Of course, you just have to have. We also have product by the way class. This is also one of the functions of Excel. Okay, you can just have the product of it, and then like that. right? So, okay, so you can have it there. Now, we also have some if, or you have some function class. Now, you can have it there. Okay, you can just auto sum it. Okay, under the editing tab, there is auto sum there. Now, what if there is? We will use the sum function class. How it is being done? The sum function. Okay, the sum function is just sum. You are going to get the sum, and then this one. Remember that Excel functions are not sensitive, case sensitive. Okay, and then that one. Okay, so that gives us the sum. Now, how about if it's sum if class? What it does? Okay, so that's the sum. Now, how about sum if? What it does is you have a specific criterion to be met. Okay, so sum if. Now, I only wanted to have this range, the total, but I wanted the total with an open string that one class. For example, greater than 2,000 lang. Okay, for example, greater than 2,000. Okay, now how do you do that? Okay, so if you have noticed, I did not include, or the system, or the Excel did not include this one because it did not satisfy the greater than 2,000, right? So that is sum and sum if. Proceed. Now, so that we will no longer tackle from the theories to exercises or to Excel, we are going to discuss the theories first for count functions. This is actually for with the count ifs. For count, you're going to type, or you're going to count all the numbers in a cell. For count A, you're going to count all the numbers of cells in a range that is not empty, including the text, including the numbers. For count F, now we are going to set criterion this time. Okay, the same the sum if. Okay, so again, we are going to go to, we will discuss about statistical functions. In this example, we only have 4 functions here. But actually, in Excel, there are a lot of functions that you can use too. Okay, we will count on the arithmetic or the average. We're going to use average. For mean, we are going to return what is the minimum value within that range of a cell or cells. And then for max, how about the maximum? And then for median, now, if you are going to compute the median manually, you are going to arrange it from highest to from lowest to highest. Okay, and then you are going to get the middlemost term. Okay, so and for the last function that we are going to talk this time is about sum product function. Now, it multiplies corresponding cells in 2 or more ranges and returns the sum of the product. So you are going to get the sum of the product of those cells. Now, what are those things that we have just discussed? Now, we will proceed to demonstration class. Alright, so for example, let's start with the count functions class. Now, what does count do? For the count do is that you are going to count if it's just numbers. Okay, let's have this formula count. Now I want us to count these cells here. For example, if it's a long list of cells, then for the demonstration class, okay, so there are 3. Now, what if I will write here something like that? Then 4, 3, or 5. Now we will count how many numbers are here. Okay, so now if you notice, what does it return? It returns the 5 because for these one and these one only. Okay, it's just the numbers or the values ng class. Now, how about if it's count A? For count A class, okay, this is count. For count A, okay, now let's have the formula. The function count A, what it does is it will count including the number and including the text. Okay, so for example here, when we hit enter, what does it give us? It's 7. Why? Because this 1 and then this 1. Now, we also have, now, what if there's blank here, class? Okay. What if there's blank here? And let's check here. Then we are going to include this as our part of our range. Now, if you've noticed, it does not include the blank because we also have actually count blank. Now, what it does for count blank is it will just count the blank. Okay, as like that, count blank. And then if you want to have this range, okay, of course it will only return 1. Now, what if count f, this one? The count if class is same as the sum if, it will give us a criterion. Now, count if. Now, you are going to get what is the range there, for example, that range, and then I only wanted to count in this range, for example, greater than, or say, less than 50. Okay, so all numbers here are less than 50, right? So, for example, I only want to count less than 50. Okay, now what does it give me? It's 5 because there is 12, 10, 45, and that one. Now, how about if I will change the setting? For example, if I am going to count greater than 50. Okay, what it does, it gives me a 0 because, of course, the values here, there is no value here greater than 50, right? So that is count if. Okay, for count numbers, for count A, numbers and text. For count blank, and then for count if there is a set, there is a particular condition that you need to follow. Okay, and then what if? Right? So let's proceed with statistical functions. Right? So let's discuss about statistical functions class. It's a basic one. Okay. Now, assuming class that, okay, let's say for your grade of mathematics, okay, for your first grading you got it 99, and then you got 96, 95, and then you want to get the average. Okay, the function is average. Okay, you're going to get the arithmetic mean. Okay, so we are going to have, if not on the average function, what we are going to do is that we are going to get the sum of this one, and then after that is we are going to divide by 4. So like that. But we can just simply hit the average function. Now, another is that we have max and mean. For maximum class is we are going to get, we will know what is the maximum of this one. Now again, short numbers, how about if it's a long list? So we will longer check on each cell. So this one max. Of course, we know that it's 95. Okay. How about if I'll change it to this one? Okay. How about this one? I'll change it to 100. So of course, the 100. And the duplicate is Control D, Control plus D class. The duplicate. If I wanted to get the minimum of these range class, we are going to get the mean. So my average or my minimum grade for these range is 90. Okay. Now how about its median? Okay. What this median do is you will get the middlemost term for that. Okay, if it's even, so what do you think is the answer if it's even? So it's 97.5. Why? If you're going to arrange this cell, if you're going to arrange this cell into, let's have this into okay, so why it's 97.5? Because if you're going to arrange the cell, remember that we need to start from 90 and then 96 and then 99, right? And then 100. Okay. So what this median do is you are going to get the average of these terms because it's even. Okay, so that's 97.5. Now, mom, what if it's odd? What happened to if it's odd? Okay, odd, simple. You are just going to arrange and then get the middlemost term. Okay, let's say this is 89. Okay, so the middlemost term is 96. Okay, if you're going to arrange that, then the middlemost term is 96. Okay, and then finally we have the sum product function. Okay, and then finally we have the sum product function. That's what it does. Now, let's say, okay, we will go to Gaisano, assuming Gaisano has 10. Okay, now we have there items, and then the quantity, and then the unit of the unit price. Now let's have soap, milk, what else? Meat, a lot. Oh, a lot more than that. 7 now. So here 10, 20, 30, and then let's have for the soap. Let's just any values. Say the soap will cost us 20 each. Milk will cost us 300, and then meat will cost per kilo. Let's have meat. 150 per kilo. Let's swing. Okay, so how do you do that? Now, if you want to format, then you can just go right now. What does some product do? Some product is you are going to get the sum of the product. Okay, so now for example this one, oh, how much is everything? How much is the cost that I need to pay? Okay, you are going to get the total of this one. Okay, now this one you are going to use some product. Okay, some product, what it does for these array, okay, group cells, and then this array too. Oh, the things that I am going to pay, or the amount that I am going to pay, will cost me 10,700. Okay, how it's being done? For example, if I'm going to get the total of this one, remember, you need to have the product, right? You are going to get the product. If I'm going to get the subtotal of each item, okay, and then I'll just drop it down. And then I'll just drop it down. Okay, and then we have their sum function, or we have the auto sum. Okay, I'll just double click that. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so this is some product. You are going to get the product of the sum. But what if, class, what will happen if I am going to do like this? Sum product, and then this one, just one array. What will happen? What it does is it will just give me the sum of this one. Now, for example, if I am going to get the sum of that one, this one, but which is not the case, right? This is not what we wanted to do. So we are going to check literally on the formula. Okay, so it's 530. But what we are after in this example is we are going to get the product for the sum of these items here. Okay? So what we are going to after is to get the product of these. We are going to get the sum of this product here. Okay, that's why we call sum product. Okay, so that would be it for our class. Thank you very much for listening.